was basically involving, it was very ambitious, but it was all to do with the fact that the white king is stuck in the back rank, and maybe there's the possibility of advancing your pawns and keeping the king caged in.
Okay, so Black's trying to go active. Black's trying to use both of his rooks on this second rank.
And now the bar is getting excited.
Now, finally, the bar's getting excited. Maybe Black just had to grit his teeth and take White's pawn, White's corner pawn there, and just hope for the best and pray that he was able to save that game and stop White's remaining pawn.
It was the only chance.
It was the only chance. But this way, it feels like he's just...
OK, but this is a little bit sneaky, right? So, I mean, the whole concept is that after pawn takes pawn, well, that could be a mistake because of the rook coming down, and the two rooks would align themselves on the second row, and the white king would be in danger.
OK, so Magnus actually with just over 10 seconds now.
It's going down.
Critical moment. Is there more than one winning move? I'm not so sure anymore. He does take that pawn off. Maybe it was better to actually ignore that pawn. That pawn wasn't actually going anywhere, so suddenly Magnus's advantage slightly disappearing, and that is because Black's rook now can get behind. If you look at the pawn on the B line, the very far advanced white pawn, Black's rook finally can get behind it and maybe try and pick it off.
Look at the clock. Okay. Oh,
he made that with 1 second to spare.
Wow.
Gosh, keeping us on the edge of our seats. So, OK, now if I were Magnus, I would just simply hold on to that pawn.
He goes active instead.
He goes active instead, OK. Still a nice idea.
Yep, a nice idea there by Magnus.
1 second. Did he make a move?
Yes, he did.
OK.
2 seconds to spare.
But now Magnus is about to gobble up a second pawn and 2-pawn advantage. Yes, he's lost his far advanced pass pawn, but he's going to get an extra pawn on both sides of the board. This should be winning for Magnus. OK, now he swaps off a set of rooks, and that is game over. We mentioned as soon as one set of rooks come off the board, Black has no more counterplay, no more attack against the white king. And all Magnus needs to do, trade that set of rooks, protect your pawn in the corner there, and slowly but surely you'll create 2 passed pawns, and those will overwhelm Black's army.
Right. Exactly, and the pawn that's there on the left is kind of more or less the decoy that's going to just tie the black rook down, and there's just really nothing to be done here. And Magnus pushing his pawn forward.
Yep.
There's nothing, what to do. Rook takes rook, king takes, and now Black. The only thing Black can do is just wait.
Yeah, and there is a saying that all rook endgames are drawn. It's kind of tongue-in-cheek, but not all rook endgames are a draw. Not when you're 2 pawns up. When they're 2 healthy pawns, as they are here, and there we go, Magnus just taking kind of baby steps, just stepping 1 square forward with his pawn. Next, he'll centralise the white king, and yeah, Dubov. I'm impressed he's playing on. That shows optimism. But yeah, Magnus, he's again the endgame king. He's not going to let this one slip. And okay,
yeah, it looks like Dubov is about to give up.
Yeah. He knows that it's inevitable. He can slow things down, but the result is not going to change. White's slowly going to step forward with his pawn. There we go. Black's rook will be tied down, stopping that pawn, and then White will make a pass pawn on the other side, and that will be the final straw that breaks the camel's back.
Yeah. Dubov thinking, is there anything he can do to trick Magnus? I guess that's not it.
Nope, unfortunately not. He's trying to trade a set of pawns. He's hoping for some stalemates. He's going to try and trap his own black king and hope that Magnus walks into some tricky stalemate there. That was very very cunning. But Magnus, he actually brought his rook up, releasing squares for the black king.
Right, exactly. And it's like that Hall and Oates song. Like, I can't go for that. No can do. So yeah, very nice. And we have a result. Magnus Carlsen wins against Daniil Dubov.
Yeah, he gives up Daniil Dubov. A great game by Magnus Carlsen and a great win for him.